Welcome to the hottest real estate topics on the planet, keeping you up to date with all the creative ways to buy and sell real estate without bank qualifying, so anyone can build real income starting today. Here is another great show with Dealmaker Bill and Pete the Rookie.
All right, here we are at another episode of Flipping Houses for Rookies.
Good morning, Bill.
We're out of sorts today.
We're on the wrong day?
We're on the wrong day.
We don't know if we're coming or going, but Thursday morning we have nothing to do.
Right. Well, I do.
Yeah?
Yeah, I got plans Thursday morning.
Oh, yeah. Disney.
That's why we're here.
Yeah, that's right.
Episode number 139. 139. Whew. Getting up there, Peter.
Yeah.
You ready for the title? You have no idea what it's going to be because I didn't tell you.
What else is new?
Using the F word with real estate investing.
Luckily, I saw the email you sent out a little bit, so I know where you're going with this. And first of all, everybody, calm down, sit down, and just listen, and you have a dirty mind.
Here we go. What's the F word, Peter?
Fear.
Exactly. There are so many choices in today's world of investing so that you are safe. So many. Agreed?
Yeah, sure.
Most wonder, how can I start a real estate business? But there, I can't see it. I have to read it and I have to see it. But there's so much information out there. You begin to wonder what matters for the safest result. However, most mix up tension with fear and feel coercing sellers or manipulating them is what negotiating to buy a house is all about. Fear is a dream killer. Tension is something that helps our deals, which means the saying, necessity level is the mother of invention, or as I put it, necessity drives income. Tension is the hallmark of a great educational experience. Peter's laughing. Once you listen to this podcast, you will soon come to realize how to be aware of tension and or fear and how to work through it. If you care enough about changing your life, please take notes so you are no longer uninformed and start turning houses into cash. Let's get started.
So, can you clarify, are you going to clarify the difference between tension and fear?
Sure.
Okay.
It's going to take us a whole show to do it.
Yeah, because I have those kind of like in the same ballpark. I don't like either of those.
Okay.
So, go ahead, just talk.
We're all right?
I'll listen.
So, we're going to start off with, you ready?
Yes, huh?
We can jump right in the profound pool.
Okay.
No goofing off today.
No ranting, though.
No rant today.
Just profound.
Yeah.
That's good. One or the other is okay. Both together is hard.
Yeah?
Yeah. It's just,
Get over it.
It's just stop
whining.
It's not for
Here's your Kleenex.
Minds.
Keep going.
Wah.
If you want to be independent, Peter, you're going to probably need assets or reputation.
Ooh, assets or reputation. Okay.
What does that mean? You're the rookie. Tell me.
Well, assets are easy. If you have properties that produce income, there's your money. Reputation, that's something you have talked about a little bit here and there. But if you have a really good reputation, well, doot, doot, I just blow my own whistle. I get a call. I did a little marketing the other week. I'm trying to debug my other business and music. So I get a call like, you teach 7-year-olds? Sure, yep. How'd you find me, by the way? After the comments at the end. How'd you find me? Oh, I went on Google. You're the first one that came up, and you look like you knew what you were doing. Ta-da! So I got a lot of reviews and history and websites. So I look like... So that's reputation. So he just called me, signed up. That's my version of reputation. Because you got a reputation that's following you.
Yeah, I got a reputation already. Knucklehead.
You've had a few.
So... let's back up for a second, because something you said of course, we're on the Flipping Houses for Rookies podcast.
Yeah, but we're using like comparisons.
So let's talk about asset.
Yeah.
What's an asset?
Well, that's something that produces, not pulls, something that produces something good, usually money, instead of something that drains.
Okay, good. So you automatically went to We Own Houses.
Well, that's what the podcast is usually about. You can have any asset that would give you money would be fine.
Like what?
I don't know. I'm thinking real estate mostly lately.
Okay. So what
gold, silver.
Okay. So what if we
land.
had a business that was an asset?
Mm-hmm. Sure.
So what if we had a business that buys and sells houses as the asset? Would reputation matter?
Yeah.
Okay. What if we had buildings that we rented to people, right? And we took really good care of those tenants. Would reputation matter?
Yeah.
When?
When somebody moved out and somebody wanted to move in.
Right.
Somebody's
Maybe you
looking
don't
around.
have to. Maybe you don't have to advertise because you did a really good job that people want to live there.
Yeah.
Because they know that you're a really good landlord.
Yeah. There's some apartments in my hometown, and there's a name on them, not to be mentioned. But my son says, "Yeah, I know those. I have my friends live there, and the guy's a scum. He doesn't take care of them."
Right.
So
there you go.
just like that.
Yeah.
Just like that. The people live there because they have to. But
Right.
just like that, bang.
Which brings me into the next thing I want to talk about. If you want to be financially well off, notice I didn't say free. I said well off because I don't know if you can ever be financially free, right? If you want to be financially well off, you probably need to deliver enough value to the right people, right?
Yeah.
That they will be happy to pay you for it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. A good product.
So if you deliver enough value to the right people, they'll want to pay you for it. I was thinking about this. The reason why this has even come into my mind is because I have a guy, right, that still owes me $350. He's got a rent of $900, and he still owes me $350 for January, and it's already March 5th. He hasn't paid February, and he's into March now.
Yeah.
Now, you might wonder, why am I putting up with that? Well, because I believed his story, and I'm kind of waiting for his income tax check, and I know he's leaving this month. So there's no sense in going and spending $1,000 or $1,500 to evict him, because then I get nothing.
You sure he's leaving?
I'm sure he's leaving. He's moving to South Carolina.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I think he is. Maybe that's just another story, and
Yeah.
I might be telling you a different tune later.
I'm too nice, and I continue giving the other guy the benefit of the
Well, it's
doubt.
not really about being nice. It was just risk management. It's like, which way do I want to play this? Because if I were to just send the legal beagles after him, I get nothing. I pay the legal beagles, and I'm out twice.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah. Don't spend the money if he's going anyhow. If it's true.
So I guess what I'm trying to say is that it occurred to me the other day when I was driving, right? It's like everyone else trips over themselves to pay me. I have one or two people that don't though. Like especially in my houses, my subject to houses, they send me overnight air envelopes. If just to make their date to get their discount. Right? And most of it's because I've given them an opportunity that they can't get anywhere else, and or they get a discount if they pay early. Right? I just bought, I bought or at least a couple of multifamily houses, right? And the old owner is telling me about how this one pays on the 5th and this one pays on the 10th. And he's like, and I'm like, yeah, I'm going to change that. Oh, yeah, I don't know about that.
Yeah, he doesn't know about
I
that.
said, Ted, I'm going to change it. Okay, well, you do what you want. So he's not in belief with me. I said, whoa, slow down. You know how I'm going to do it? You didn't ask that question. No, he says, you're right. How are you going to do it? So I'm going to raise the rent $50 or $75 on every person. I'm going to go to them face to face. I'm going to say, your rent is no longer $800, it's $850. And they're going to go, ah! Whoa, slow down. Here's what I'm willing to do. You pay me by this date, and I won't raise the rent. Do you see?
Sure.
So it'll change the whole dynamic. Now they'll want to pay me because they'll want to save the $50.
Yep.
right? And you've heard me say this before, and then we'll move on. One of the most turning points in my life, in my 15 years of doing real estate, was when I realized I can make more money on the defaults than I can on the payments. It changed my life because all of a sudden I get people chasing me to pay me because I'd rather they default. I'd rather keep their 10, 15, 20 grand for a deposit and do it over again.
Right.
Right? I'd rather do that.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes it better. Right?
Sure.
Which brings me to the third point, and then we're gonna kind of dig in, okay? $100 bill is really meaningless if you think about it. Right? $100 bill is really meaningless. I'm not talking about me, by the way. Remember, he used to call me
your own
$100
nickname.
bill? Yeah. It's what you can. It's what you do to get the $100 bill, or what you can buy once you get them.
Mm.
That's the valuable part.
Sure.
So the $100 bill is useless.
Mm-hmm.
We put value to that $100 because of how we get it. Sometimes it's really hard. And what we can do once we use it. Right?
Right.
So this is important with real estate because it's like sometimes they're really hard to get. And do you really want real estate? Like you say real estate's not your main passion. Music is. But the truth of the matter is if you get real estate and you do what we're talking about, what do you really get?
Well, you get more freedom and opportunity to do those other things you want to do.
So you get yeah.
What are you thinking?
I was thinking independence, not so much freedom.
Well, freedom is independence. Independence is you can do what you want. Freedom to do what you want.
Okay.
So, meaning the same thing you're saying.
Right. Yeah, I have to look that up because to me, independence means you have the choice to do what you want. Freedom is more like I have no responsibility and it just doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm. Well,
there's a little difference.
Yeah, that's not what I'm saying. Free to do what you want.
I get it.
Freedom, some free time, some extra money, so you can do what you want.
Right.
Yep.
So in the end, what happens is we sell solutions and desires our clients want. We sell solutions and desires that our clients want. Now, we talk about this all the time. The way we buy and sell real estate, right, is different than a realtor because money doesn't always fix everything.
Right.
It doesn't always give them their solution, and it doesn't always give them their desire. Let me give you an example. I buy your house from you, and you got $20,000 coming your way, but your credit score is you're a drunk. And I had this happen. You're an alcoholic, and your credit score is like 400.
Right.
What happens now? Where do you go? What do you do?
Yeah. What do you do? 20,000. Well,
you don't have a place to live now.
Yeah, and you can't buy a house with that kind of credit score.
Now what happens?
Mm-hmm.
You can't get a rent. You can't get a rent.
Oh.
Who's going to rent to you unless you go to somebody that has a 2-family house that doesn't pull credit? Now you're going to a quote-unquote slumlord because he doesn't care, just paying the rent. Mm-hmm. You could do that, which maybe that works.
But how long, though?
Right.
If that's all the money he's got.
How about the guy that owes $110,000 on a house that's worth $100,000?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Money can't fix that. Right?
Nope.
But the desire to not have that burden anymore is something you want, right?
Sure. So
a realtor can't fix that.
Nope. Sorry, you're over leveraged. I can't sell your house. Bye-bye.
So we're selling solutions and desires. We're not selling widgets. Mm-hmm. Right? And that's one of the things that I want this podcast to be understood is that when you talk about fear, you're really afraid of the house and the ramifications of the house. And we aren't really in the widget business. We aren't really in the house business. We're not really in the real estate business. We're really in the marketing business to find people that aren't happy with the realtor system or have not had their desires met and need our service. So really, in most cases, we're buying and selling paper that's connected to real estate.
Mm-hmm.
The lease options and the options and the subject to. We're really selling that. So technically, our sellers are paying us with equity or cash flow,
right,
to solve those problems. So what is there really to be afraid of? And we're going to go through. I got a whole list. What is there really to be afraid of?
The only thing really to be afraid of is not getting the deal and getting the advantage of.
Amen.
Right? That's really fair. I mean, you work with your clients and you say they have fear. Sometimes it's fear of what do I do with it, because I'm not sure what to do with it, and if that's valid, you have to know what to do with it. But most of the times we don't want to screw it up, like I lost it again, I didn't get it, because we're trying to accomplish something. We're afraid we won't accomplish something. Of course, if you don't try something, you definitely don't accomplish anything, so at least you have to try. And if you keep trying, you will.
Right.
You will.
Good. So I call this solutions and desires. So to sell solutions and desires to your clients, what they want, we're going to start calling this emotional labor. Because that's really what it is, right?
Yeah, well, it is.
And it's the work you do for your sellers and your buyers.
That's really good because, I hear you talking, whether it's me or your other coaching clients and people and homeowners, and it's emotion. It's like, Bill, I'm not sure what to do. Like, I don't want to lose the deal. Oh, I lost a few thousand profit because I didn't figure it out. And yeah, it's about money, but it's like if you already have some money. I mean, you had somebody squawking about, gee, I think I lost money, blah, blah, blah. I'm so worried. She had like $100,000 deal, or maybe it was going to be $98,000. Jesus Christ, what the hell are you worrying about?
Right.
What if it's 96? Oh my God, that's terrible.
Right.
That's the worst. Is that all you can think of worrying about?
Right.
There's children starving in, But yeah, that definitely is emotion on all ends of this.
So if you think about its emotional labor, right, and it's the work you do for your sellers and your buyers, okay, you'll soon realize that there's sellers and buyers out there waiting for you to help them. Sellers are waiting for you to offload this burdening house or this debt. They're just waiting for you. They know you're there.
Oh, do they?
Well,
they're hoping, but I mean, a lot of people are completely surprised when you show up.
So we just go back to how we just started the podcast, right? The way to be independent is to own assets and have a reputation. So if they know you're there, they'll be waiting for you.
Oh, right. Yeah, people like you, people do know about you, and they do show up. Yeah. Right. On the word of mouth or,
Okay, so here we go. Now we're right into the podcast.
Oh, we're starting now.
Now we're going to get right into the podcast. I am going to dazzle you, Peter. I promise you. And if you don't feel dazzled, I will buy you lunch.
Oh, I can't lie, so all right, just do it.
Okay?
Yeah.
I am going to dazzle you.
I was thinking,
right
no dazzling. Okay.
And it's Tuesday, by the way. The diner's closed. So if we're going to do lunch, we're going someplace different.
We're going Casa Mia.
Okay. Where's that?
Newington.
Oh, no, we're not going to Newington. All right. Here we go. You ready?
Sir.
Think of it this way. This is how I want you to think of it from now on.
Yeah.
A lifeguard.
Lifeguard. Okay.
Okay. Doesn't have to spend much time pitching to a drowning person how he or she is going to help. When the lifeguard shows up with a life buoy, if the drowning person realizes what's at stake, you don't have to run an ad. You don't have to spend a lot of time convincing them that you can help.
Oh, yeah.
In this scenario, the drowning person is willing to pay you with his or her attention and considers the buoy to be something priceless. And that, my friend, is the definition, a perfect analogy of a prospect, a motivated prospect. We've been doing this for 3 or 4 years, and I've never had an example that precise.
No, that's good. And I have one for the suspects. It's all the people in the shallow water and on their blankets.
I have that here.
And they're under the umbrellas.
I have that here.
I'm tracking with you, Bill.
So
and
I
at the food stand, sunny, rubbing oil,
So
smiling.
I say you look for the drowning swimmers or the bad swimmers, right? Don't give your time and resources to all the others on the beach. They don't need the buoy as much as the person that's a bad swimmer or drowning.
Yep. Or the one with the fin following them.
Yeah. This is why I say fear is overrated.
Oh, okay.
Because really fear is suspects killing dreams. And if you have somebody that's a little weak to begin with, or has low self-esteem, or doesn't have experience in a new arena, what will the suspect do to them?
They can dash their hopes pretty quickly. I mean, especially when a lot of people make it sound like, oh, it's just easy, it's just fine. And it's not that hard, but you have to be realistic about it too.
Right. This morning I wrote an email before you got here, and it's called, Have You Ever Eaten a Cricket? That's the subject line. Have you ever eaten a cricket?
Okay.
So in a lot of places, eating crickets for a source of protein is a really good thing.
If you're an aardvark.
Right?
Yes, that's some places.
How about beef? In the Western world, right?
Yeah.
Beef is a good thing. That's how you get protein,
Don't
right?
do it in India.
Right. And that's what I put. In some parts of the world, it's considered sacred and holy.
You get big trouble.
Right?
Yeah.
So you see what I mean?
Yeah.
So really, what is it? It's viewpoint. Right? So what's happened to our society? So actually, a culture is something that's normal. It's normalized. Right? And if you do what the culture expects you to do, then you get more normal.
Well, at least you fit in.
Yeah.
Yeah, they think you're normal.
Right? So, I'm not going to read the rest. I mean, I didn't print the email. I could have Emma do it, but there's some other cool stuff in there. The point that I'm trying to make here is that right now in our society, the culture says, if you want to sell a house, get a realtor.
No, it even says that if you want to invest in houses, people think, oh, I have two people that I know. We bought a house for investment. Well, how'd you do it? What do you mean? Got a realtor, got a loan. Oh my, as an investment. They have thousands into this thing to get a few $100s back a month.
Right.
It's kind of backwards with the way we think now.
Right. So one thing that I tell you that an investor and realtor don't have in common. There's one thing that I know that they don't have in common.
Okay.
One of the things that we preach is if you're going to buy a house today, it has to have equity in it today.
Right.
Right?
Yeah. You want
the
to set
difference
it up.
is a realtor will think, oh, well, you can have equity in it if it's ugly. You buy it from a bank, or, a real estate owner, REO.
Yeah.
Property. That's the only place that you can buy them with equity, which, by the way, you have to make the equity. So that's not really true, because if I buy a $200,000 house that needs $100,000 worth of repairs and I pay $100,000 for it, did I get equity?
No. What's the thing worth right now?
Exactly.
$100,000 because it's a mess.
Exactly. So one of the things we talk about a lot is make sure that one of the things that happens is you buy a house today that has equity in it today. The only time that doesn't happen with us is when we do a slot deal, and it's not that we didn't buy the house with equity. We know how to create the equity tomorrow.
Yeah, we tack on the equity to the house price.
Right. Okay. And if you don't know what a slot deal is, or subject to or lease option, this is your first podcast, and go to flippinghousesforrookies.com/free stuff. There's videos there, 7 or 8 videos there you can watch.
Geez, Bill, just imagining somebody hitting us for the first time right in the middle of things.
Yeah.
How exciting.
Yeah. Okay. So here we have this drowning person. They're drowning. And the lifeguard swims out with a buoy. Get it? So if you're in fear or you're afraid to do this, and we're going to talk about different scenarios of fear the last half of the show. If you're in fear or you're worried about things that we're going to talk about, really all it is you just haven't hit a motivated seller. Because when you hit those, all that stuff goes away.
Oh, yeah.
You're talking to too many suspects. That's all it is.
Well, your first step in the real estate business is, one, find a motivated seller.
Right.
Now, what does the word find mean?
No, find and communicate
Right.
to a motivated seller.
Right. You can't you can't communicate. So what does find mean?
Yeah,
it doesn't mean convince somebody on the phone that you have a great deal, they should do it because it's really good and you'll make more money. No, it's find the guy. Right. They're already motivated.
One of the things I run into, especially in my coaching group with new coaching clients, is that they think every deal is a deal.
Mm-hmm.
Because no matter what, mathematically, you've seen it, and I didn't even realize I did this till I kind of met you. No matter what happens mathematically, I can always give you an offer.
Yeah.
I'll give you 3 offers.
Sure.
Pick any scenario. House is worth $100,000. The house is worth $100,000. They owe $150,000. I'll give you 3 offers and make money mathematically. That's the logical part of your brain.
Yep.
How about the emotional part?
Doesn't mean the seller is going to do it.
Right.
They don't have to do it just because you got a good idea.
Right.
Nope.
You never know. Okay. So this is why I say that fear is overrated. Because what fear really is to me is kind of like a scarcity mentality. You're just not finding motivated sellers. Because if you did, you wouldn't be so afraid. Because when the other person's really willing, you'll now turn into what? What's the other word that we used?
What? When he's willing?
Yeah.
I'm missing something here.
Yeah. So what was the other word you wanted to know about?
In the beginning?
Fear. And what else?
Oh, tension.
Tension.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, see what just happened? So I call you up and say, Peter, let's put it this way. You bought your condo, that condo we talked about. He said no to what?
He said no to nothing.
He said yes to everything.
Yeah.
Okay, so you went from having some fear of talking to him, right, to now what?
He said yes to everything. Like, it was almost like I couldn't believe it. I had you come and make sure that I was saying what I was saying.
You had me come. Why did you have me come?
Because
there was tension. You didn't know what to do. You were nervous. It was like, oh my God, this might work.
Something like that.
Now
like
it's tension.
Just to make sure the contract was right and I was doing it right.
You get the difference?
Yeah.
So I don't have to explain it.
Yeah. That's fine. Yeah, tension is like, it can be excited tension. I mean, you're on a date and you're excited, just tension, or like, what if she, but it's not like, oh my God, it's like kind of good.
So here we go.
By the way, I want to add something. You're talking about, you don't have to have fear. Expectation is a big part of this. And I don't know if you have that coming up, but I'm just throwing it in because I'm sitting here. If you expect to talk to people that are going to say no, and you just go, there he is, okay. If you expect everybody's going to be amenable to you, personally, I had a problem in the beginning because I knew I could help anybody with this because I help people with a lot of things in life. I can teach anybody music. I can do this. I can help with this. I can help with that. I'm a helpful person. In this arena, you don't help everybody. You just help the guys who want to. So I wasn't used to having somebody walk away. So at first it was odd to me. It wasn't bad, but it was like, I had to wrap my wits about that. Like, you have to expect most people will say no, and it's a short conversation, and you're done, and nothing happens. You don't have to feel bad.
Pre-screening done.
Yeah, pre-screening done. You're not qualified, and not the guy I'm looking for. Thank you very much. Goodbye. Next, pick up the phone. Which is why we have a good marketing machine, because the pre-screening, a lot of it's done there. Yeah. Because the majority of them are going to say no. But you have to expect that, and then you won't be freaked out. So to your point, my wife never gets this right. She always says, "What's that saying you say all the time?" She just did it the other day. And here's the saying. Expectation is the function. Oh my God, I lost it. Of frustration? Of frustration, yeah. Yep. Expectation is the function of frustration. Yeah. So if you're frustrated, it's because your expectation was probably too high or wrong. Yeah. So just change your expectation and you won't be frustrated. Yep. Right? Yeah. So if your kid is always mouthing back to you,
and you're frustrated, just expect your kid is going to mouth back to you all the time, and you won't be frustrated.
Yeah, figure out how to deal with that, not expecting them not to do it.
If you expect to make 10 phone calls and have 9 people say no, you won't be frustrated when they say no. Just look for that one.
Make a list.
Yeah, exactly.
Done. How you doing, honey? Sweetheart, I got 5 no's. Yay!
Exactly.
4 more.
Exactly.
Yay!
Exactly.
And we're not kidding.
Exactly. So I just published my new book, which you were talking about this morning, and that's exactly how I started out. It's like I know that in the beginning I needed to talk to 15 people to buy a deal, and I counted them down. Couldn't wait to get to number 14. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So if you do what I've taught, okay, and there's no original idea wholly in this world, I believe. It's our stories and our experiences that changes them. Right?
Yeah.
So if you listen to some of my stories and you listen to your stories and you listen to this podcast and you do these things, then you're like the lifeguard with the buoy. And you just need to look for bad swimmers.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You'll see them.
Yep.
Once you understand what they look like, you'll see them. Right? Okay, so now if the bad swimmer knows you have a buoy, right? Mm-hmm. If the bad swimmer knows you have a buoy, when you get into trouble, they yell for you. They yell for help.
Yeah, help, lifeguard, help.
Right? Because they know you're there.
And everybody starts pointing.
Yeah.
If the lifeguard doesn't hear, other people on the beach start pointing, hey, they go get you.
That's how you should build your business.
Yeah. Ever happened to you?
Drowning?
No.
Oh.
No, you're the lifeguard, Bill.
Oh.
People finding you.
Yeah, absolutely. I just told you the story this morning about my brother-in-law, my ex-brother-in-law.
Yeah.
Yeah, it happens. It happens not often, but quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So this brings us from fear to tension, like we were just talking about. Now you have a whole new situation because you go from being afraid to having tension, like I have this person that's drowning. How am I going to save him? Mm. What am I going to do? Mm-hmm. How am I going to handle it? It's a different feeling.
Yeah.
Than fear. And that's why I say those points of tension are educational experiences.
Right.
That will bring you to greater heights.
Yeah, because then you can have some tension, like, am I going to do the right thing? What should I say? But that's part of learning, getting good at it, and being knowledgeable. So
let me really clarify the difference between the two. Fear, you want to flee from. You want to run away from it. You want to get it out of your universe. Mm-hmm. Tension isn't like that, because if you have a deal and you know you can make it, you're going to want to stay in, and you're going to deal with it. You're going to be like, I got to get this done. How am I going to do it? You don't want to flee from it. You don't want to run away from it because you know you can make money or you can actually do it.
More than that, don't you have to use the tension to your advantage and the seller's advantage to find that amazing solution for him? So you have to use that tension.
So let's flip it right around to what you just said.
If the guy's like in the water, don't touch me, because lifeguards get hit.
Right.
People are flailing in their face. I go, stop it, you're drowning. Oh.
Right.
Say still.
Right.
You're drowning. Stop. Right.
So I was just going to bring your point up exactly. Is you're in the house and how many houses have you been in with me like this, where they're going to go to foreclosure or the tax man's coming or something about the deal is like closing in on them, and they're like pretending like it doesn't exist. And you have to put tension into the cycle to get them motivated.
Yeah, you'll say something like, well, what are you going to do if you don't sell to me today?
Right.
And they just like, duh.
Right. So tension could be good.
Well, sometimes you have to tell people, like, look, if you don't start changing your diet and don't do this, do that, you're going to die.
Right.
So why do doctors do that? Is it fear or is it tension?
Right. Exactly.
Trying to help you.
Okay. So this is how I buy houses. I do enough outflow that they come to me. Right? Then my pressure or my tension is about how can I help them, which is a much different way than most people teach. It's much different than a realtor. I have a student of mine, which will remain nameless, that's been with me quite a while, and is a realtor. And he wants to be a realtor. He really wants to be a realtor. He thinks that he could make his income with being a realtor.
Mm-hmm.
And he actually, him and I were working together, and we were doing some stuff, and he actually felt that was a better path for him to take, which I don't feel that way.
Yep.
Okay, because I just don't feel that way. Okay, because I think he could make. But anyways, he could do both, and he's doing both. He's got some investment properties, and he's doing stuff. My point is that just what I just said to you, if he did our type of marketing, and he walked into a house and he says, I'll buy your house subject to, I'll buy your house lease option, I'll buy your house, blah, 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 a slot deal. And they say, no, 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 no. At the end, he can say, I'll list it. How many opportunities do realtors have in that position? Where they actually talked to somebody, they actually responded to their marketing. They actually spoke to him on the phone, actually made an appointment. You went out and looked at the house. You gave them recommendations. You're the person on the pedestal, right? You're the professional.
Yep.
And then you get all done and they say, no, 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 because of financial reasons.
Mm-hmm.
And you say, well, I'll list it for you.
Yeah,
I mean, if you did 5 appointments a week making offers, that's 5 potential people that he can list a house for.
Yeah. The realtors don't get let into for sale by owner houses that easily. They the whole point is they don't want them in there.
Right.
And the for sale by owner with investor who could also sell the house, he's like a Trojan horse.
And he hasn't completely gotten that concept for whatever reason.
Mm-hmm.
Most realtors don't. It's their culture. It's the way they believe.
Right. And then we do see realtors who decided that this would be better, and they come this way too.
Right.
You see that as well.
So let's make this real. We got to make this real because that's what we do. So fear.
Mm-hmm.
You ready? Fear of criticism. Really? Fear of criticism. You're not going to be remarkable because someone, and it doesn't, they don't get your idea or they don't understand what you do, made a remark, and you're not going to be remarkable because of that? You're not going to go help somebody sell a house or somebody buy a house because your wife's cousin was at a party and said, real estate, that's like one of those 2 a.m. infomercials. That doesn't work. That's a scam. You can't buy money you can't buy real estate without money. That's a scam. That's criticism.
Yeah, sure.
So you're going to listen to those people? You have a wife that tells you don't spend any more money on real estate investing. You haven't made any money yet. That's criticism. So you're not going to be remarkable because somebody made a comment.
I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time with this. I've lived my whole life under the gun, so my skin's too thick for that part. Okay. But I understand a lot of people. If you're conservative, if you follow the herd, if you don't want to stand out or be the one that's the oddball, I don't know.
But why do people think of us as an oddball? Because we've been around longer than the realtors. Mm-hmm. Why are we the oddball? It's just because of the culture. That's why.
Sure, it's just the culture. It's just what everybody thinks.
Right. Make sense?
Absolutely.
Good. How about this one? Fear of failure. Right? Mm-hmm. If you do what I teach you, which I make it really easy because I'm still on the Ford model. Every American should drive an affordable car.
Yep.
I believe that every American should have the ability to have affordable training to buy and sell real estate.
Yep.
Okay, and I've done that. I've point blank done that. FlippingHousesForRookies.com. Go there. My most expensive thing is $500. My most expensive thing is $500.
That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. That is folks. That is the upsell.
Yeah,
that's not then the 10,000 and the 20,000. That isn't it.
No, none of it. My most expensive thing costs $500.
Yep.
Even my coaching.
Yep.
Okay, and there's a shit ton of stuff on there for free. Mm-hmm. And $37 and $67 and $97.
Yeah, but there's a point that I never caught on till one of your coaching clients pointed out, who had been to the other guys. No offense to the other guys, because the data's fine, but he felt that he was getting some information but missing some, and he had to buy something else to get that information.
Right.
Then that would leave something missing, so he'd leave that would have to buy something else to get that. But the $500 course has like the contracts, it has the lease in it, it has how do you sell it. I mean, it has the whole thing soup to nuts. It's not like the master's level, right, but it's enough to actually do it, and people have done it with that.
Right.
And there's no like accidentally or personally pulled steps.
I have a new coaching client that's about to join. He was on the call last night as a guest.
Yes, I heard.
Right?
Yes.
He said he had I don't even know how he said it, but he knew nothing about real estate and was fumbling around and somehow or another ended up on my podcast. This was like a year ago. Okay? And he since has bought 5 more houses. This is another guy. This is not the guy we talk about all the time.
No,
this is another guy. He bought 5 houses. He bought 5 wholesale deals.
Mm-hmm.
Just listening to the podcast. And he attributes it to the way that we talk and the way that we rah. He actually found somebody in his community, because he's also on Bigger Pockets and he's Grant Cardone, and which is a great compliment to me, because he put me in those 2 arenas. Nice, Bill. Bigger Pockets and Grant Cardone, and me. That's who he listens to.
Wow.
Okay?
Nice.
Or us, I should say. Not me, but us, right?
Mm-hmm.
The important thing is that he's coming for coaching now because he wants more. Mm. He wants more. He wants to sustain it. Mm-hmm. Right? And he's already doing good. So he wants to sustain it.
Yeah, but he doesn't know everything, so there'll be plenty of opportunities when he'll have something come up that he's not sure how to deal with. Now he can get help direct from you. I haven't seen anything that you don't have at least 2-3 ways to work through it, around it, fix it.
Yeah, it's not that I know everything, but it's definitely, you're better off to talk to somebody like me that's had a lot of experience, and the 2 of us could figure it out together, than to talk to somebody that's never done it. Or be in your own head talking to yourself. Yeah, or talk to your wife who doesn't know anything about it, or your neighbor, or somebody else, and who'll just scare you, basically. So, fear of failure. If you do what I teach you, you don't ever personally guarantee anything. Now, we do that on flips. We personally guarantee our loans because they're family members. But when you do a lease option, you don't personally guarantee anything. Mm-hmm. No, you do subject to, you don't personally guarantee it. No, we're not buying the properties in those situations. We're just controlling the property with the option. It's just controlling it, and you're not liable for any more than you promised, and that's the end of it. Right. So it's all in the negotiating and the paperwork, which is what I help you with. Right, the paperwork says if it doesn't work. I mean, it's like, okay, try this on for size, folks. What fear does a realtor have to list a property? Right. What huge, amazing fear does he have? Right. We're the same way. Yeah. I mean, he puts it on the MLS. Some phone calls come in. Sorry, I didn't sell your house. Well, thanks a lot for nothing. Well, see you later. So he's not personally getting hit, or they're going to take away what he owns. Mm. And we're doing the same thing. Yeah. And if you follow along what we're talking about, then you too don't have to have the fear of failure, because there's nothing to fail from. There's no risk if you do it the right way. Mm-hmm. And that's, like you said, in the How to Buy Real Estate Without a Loan course, it's all there. Mm. Right? All right, how about this one? You said this earlier. Fear the seller says yes. Mm-hmm. Right? So what if your seller says yes to your offer? Are you worried you won't have the scratch to do it? Right? Or the money to buy it? Mm-hmm. Is that a fear? Yeah, but you're talking about not needing money to buy it. So, I mean, I would be just concerned that I do the job right and get the property, find the buyer. So, because people, can you really find people that sell your house this way? Yeah. Can you really find people who buy the house this way? I mean, that's the real fear, is if you can't sell it. We're going to talk about that too. Sure. All right, so 1, you're worried about finding the scratch for the house, right? Mm-hmm. Done right, your buyer is going to pay for the transaction. Mm-hmm. Right? Because they're the one screaming for the lifeguard buoy on the other end. Right. And half of them might be afraid they're on a beach with no lifeguard on duty. Right. And they don't know they don't know that you're there. Right. There's somebody like us out there. So like I said, my How to Buy Real Estate Without a Loan course fully hats you. I wrote that thing for a staff member, somebody who was my acquisition manager, right?
Mm-hmm.
They fully hat you on how to do this without cash, credit, or risk. So just go there and understand it and stop complaining.
Mm.
Stop telling me that the fear, that the seller's going to say yes. Just stop complaining. Stop whining. Leave me alone. I've done it already. If you don't want to spend $500, you don't want to change your life. I got it. Go away. I'm good.
Buy a McDonald's franchise. That's cheaper.
Yeah.
Like, I still remember the first house I got on an option and started marketing it. I was surprised. A lot of phone calls come.
Yep.
You get a lot of people. It's not like you're sitting there and the phone don't ring. It doesn't work like that.
Right. All right. So second. So we're still talking about fear that the seller says yes, right? If you use my mathematical formulas like scripture from the big book, okay, you're going to get wonderful discounts or some really nice cash flow. Otherwise, you don't do the deal.
Yeah, we figured that out a long time ago. The seller will ask for this, that, and the other. You offer what you know you can do.
Right.
And, you can bump up a little bit if there's room, but you don't budge off of that because beyond that doesn't work.
But if you're in alignment with the plan he already has, he'll bend on that stuff.
That's right. Yeah.
If you're in alignment with the plan he already has, his desire, his needs, and he's emotionally connected to you because you're being empathetic, that stuff will bend.
Right, because it's not just about money.
Easily. It will bend.
Yep.
Right? And so I promise, if you've seen
what?
I don't know, I'm trying to sort my thoughts out here. So I promise, if you have such a slamming deal, okay, people will line up at the door like at Walmart at 4 a.m. on Black Friday to buy $20 shit. If you have a slamming deal, that's what will happen. Like you said before, people will line up at the door like at Walmart on Black Friday for $20 shit.
But it's something that they didn't expect they were even going to be available.
Right.
Because people looking for rents wish they could buy a house.
Right.
And they don't know they can do this.
You're the lifeguard with a buoy.
Yeah. And they weren't expecting it on top of that.
They were financially drowning, and you're going to help them.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, next one. Fear it won't sell. Right? And you have pressure of the out-of-expense or out-of-pocket expense that you're going to have to pay. And you don't have available resources to do that.
To market it?
No.
To what?
So, you have a fear that it's not going to sell.
Oh.
And you're going to have expenses for the house, and you don't have available resources to pay those expenses.
Okay.
That's the fear, right? Again, if you're watching my free videos on flippinghousesforrookies.com/free stuff, you'll understand how to do a slot deal, a subject to deal, or a lease option deal without difficulty. That's what these dudes do when we talk about they bought 4 or 5 houses, 3 or 4 houses. I don't talk about the guys that tell me they do 1 or 2 houses, but when they say they did 5 houses in a year, that's impressive.
Yeah.
Okay?
Starting out.
Right. Know this. Know this. When a realtor sells, they don't pay expenses while they're hunting for the buyer. You said that earlier.
Right.
Did a light bulb just go off? Right? They don't pay for expenses while they're looking for a buyer.
Why should we?
So why can't you do the same? Exactly right. Just find a motivated seller that person has trouble swimming, and flap your lips to the seller and get them to pay the expenses until you can find your buyer.
You mean the realtor doesn't pay your mortgage while he's finding you a buyer for the house?
Exactly.
That'd be crazy.
But here's the best part, is the realtor wants 6 months. You're only going to tell him 3 months.
Yeah.
So if you have a fear the house isn't going to sell, When you do what we're talking about, your liabilities are 0. So we're done. Why is that fear? It's overrated. That fear is only you telling yourself a story about how the house isn't going to sell in your own head. You're telling yourself it's not going to sell, it's not going to sell, it's not going to sell. What if it doesn't sell? What if it doesn't sell? And what do you think you're going to get? So if you're convincing yourself the house won't sell, at least protect yourself so you don't have to pay the liabilities and you got 0 expenses. Fear it won't work. That's another one. Fear it won't work. Okay? So here comes Bill. So I've had people tell me this won't work. So now, here comes Bill. Now we're just into lazy. Lazy. If this is you, don't do it. If you feel like it won't work, don't do it. I can't fix you. And I'm harsh with this. Because it's worked for me and hundreds of my students.
Can I be harsh with you?
Sure.
If somebody sits and listens to this and looks at this and thinks it won't work and all that, you're a suspect. You're a suspect student. You're not motivated. You don't have the necessity. You're just a talker or a walker or whatever. Sorry. But just try something for once.
Right.
Just try all we actually try to do, isn't it, Bill? We try to get people to start the beginning steps of the business to find that it does work.
Yep.
And once you find the beginning steps work, you can pretty much assume the rest will, because it's going as explained.
Okay.
You don't have to get through an entire deal to see that it worked. You just start the first steps. I started making phone calls and people let me in the house to look at them within a few days, and I called you.
Yep.
So it was like, oh, this actually works. How about that?
All right, so let's play devil's advocate for a second.
Who am I?
So let's say that maybe some people have tried it and they had trouble understanding and don't know it. Or it didn't work for them. Or they've tried other people's stuff and it didn't work for them. Okay? Well, I'm still calling you out. Stop being lazy. Because here's what I want you to do. I want you to go figure out what your deficiency is. So go to Amazon.com. Seriously, this is what I want them to do. Go to stop being lazy. Go to Amazon.com. Get Sean Cloudon's book called The Power of Words. And unlock your ability to learn or do anything because it's in that book.
Oh, that data totally helped me with this. All of this. Totally.
So if you feel like you get to the bottom of a page and you're blank and don't know what you just read, go get Sean Cloudon's book. If you're listening to our podcast or you're listening to us talk and all of a sudden you find yourself daydreaming or thinking about something else, go get Sean Cloudon's book. If you feel like you have never seen what we're talking about or it's not real to you, like we're talking about tractors and you've never seen a tractor and you're confused, go get Sean Cloudon's book. If you sometimes get nervous or have a stomach ache while you're studying our materials, go get Sean Cloudon's book. If you feel blank or we're like all of a sudden we're talking and all of a sudden you catch yourself like starting to pay attention and think, what did he just say? I didn't hear him for the last 3 minutes. Go get Sean Cloudon's book. It's you. It's not me. It's you. Stop being lazy. The book is like, I think it was $7.97 or $12.97, something like that. If you can't go buy that book for $13 and read it, and by the way, you should read it, and then once you learn how to handle it, you should go back and read it again after you learn how to apply the stuff he teaches in the book.
You'll understand it better when you know
the second time you'll understand it when you can apply the tools that he's talking about.
Yep.
Okay? And your life will unlock, your ability will go high, and you'll learn how to do anything.
Across the boards.
I happen to know Sean, and I get nothing for promoting it. He doesn't even know I'm doing it. And I know for a fact that IQs go up when they read and apply this book.
And IQ does change.
Yep.
It can go down, so it can go up.
All right, let's keep going. Fear, I want to sell something that you don't want. So fear, I will sell. I will sell you something. I said that wrong.
I mean, to the listeners?
Fear that I'm going to sell them something that they don't want.
I got that. You mean the listeners?
Right. Either the listeners or
the sellers?
The sellers.
Oh, okay.
Either way.
Wow. Yeah.
But we're going to talk about the first one. Fear, Bill Hawthorne, is going to sell you something you don't want. The other shoe is going to drop. You're going to get into my funnel, and all of a sudden you're going to need $30,000. Okay? So here's what I know. First of all, that ain't happening. I wish it would happen. But to be honest with you, I'm being lazy because I'm not ready to do that. I'm not ready to have those kind of clients. I pick and choose what clients I have. I have total control over my life when it comes to that. In fact, my life is my finances are down right now because I'm doing too much charity work, which sometimes I do that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then all of a sudden I'll go whoop, and I'll go do a couple deals and fix it all.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Bottom line is, if you're here now and you're listening to us, you don't know how to turn houses into cash. That's probably why you're here.
Mm-hmm.
It's because you don't know how to do that. I promise. I solemnly promise, hand on a Bible, all the way, hand on my children's lives, I promise, that the school of hard knocks is way, way more expensive. So if you feel like I'm trying to upsell you, or I'm trying to make money off of you, or I'm trying to get your money so I can make a living, go away. Go spend your money on the on the school of hard knocks. Go. Get out. Go. I'm done. Because whether you buy something from me or not, I'm still going to eat steak. I'm still going to smoke anywhere from a $10 to a $25 cigar. It's just how it is.
That's true. You know, if you want to have a business, like any business, if you want to sell hot dogs on the street, like my neighbor, who has a really nice house, he must sell a lot of hot dogs, right. That guy. You have to do a few things. 1, set aside time. 2, make space for it. Make a desk. Get a phone. Get a basket. Get paper. Get pens. Get stamps. You got to do that.
Right.
And you have to get it all. And you have to learn how to do it. You have to get trained, and you have to actually sit there and do it. So there's a budget to it. My wife and I just put a couple $100s a month budget for whatever we were doing, and whatever we bought it until the house was rolled in. Then there's money in the account. We use that now.
I'm sorry.
Are you?
I'm sorry. I heard hot dogs. I got blinded by that. If we're going to go all the way to Newington,
Bill,
we can go to Costco's and get a hot dog for lunch today.
A hot dog is not really a dog that's hot. As my mother tells me the story of the American kid who moved to Italy in 1930 and goes to the butcher and says, "I want, in Italian, a dog hot." The guy looked at him, "Get out of my store!" And he didn't understand hot dogs. So did you have a problem with the definition of hot dogs there in the beginning?
Let's move on. Fear you can't structure a deal. I hear this one a lot. Fear you can't structure a deal.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. That's what I have to say. Huh.
Well, you are really good at it. I mean, you know.
I agree. I am very good at it.
Us newbies have, let's put it, us newbies have more ways than other people to do it. So we're ahead in that regard. We might not be smart as you, but
bullshit.
We're as smart as you?
That's a Tabucky Jones saying.
What?
He says it all the time in the smoke shop.
Bullshit.
Bullshit. And he's a big guy. It comes out really deep.
Oh boy.
Okay?
Yeah.
Let me tell you a very loud secret. I didn't know how to make offers either when I first started. But I learned to ask this one question.
I wonder what that could be.
What would have to happen for me to buy your house today? What would have to happen for me to buy your house today?
Is this one of those things people should be writing down at home? You told them to take notes?
Bam! Every time.
Yeah.
Bam!
So they're making the offer to you in a sense.
They would tell me exactly what to do. All I needed to do now is work out how I was going to pay them what they were asking.
Mm. Yeah.
And like I said before, all I needed was a little time to go find my buyer.
Mm.
Right? Just like a realtor.
Yep.
So suppose they want full asking price and they want cash in 30 days. Okay. Give them an option agreement.
Mm-hmm.
And go find a buyer.
Mm-hmm.
And make $500, $1,000, $2,000, $5,000.
Mm-hmm.
Go make a few bucks.
Mm-hmm.
Why not? What educational experience is worse than that?
If you can get educated and make money instead of spending money, or even if you broke even and learned, you're ahead of the game. Because we know a lot of people who spend tens of thousands and don't make a thing, and I don't know what they're learning.
Right.
They're learning how to fail.
Plus, the more time the seller could wait, the more money I could pay the seller.
Mm.
And what the seller isn't going to, what seller isn't going to want to listen to you when you tell them you could pay more money for their house?
Mm.
At least listen to you.
Mm-hmm.
Because think of it this way. The buyer who's drowning looking for a buoy is not going to negotiate price. He's going to pay a premium price to be saved. Mm-hmm. So you're going to pass that premium price to your seller. Yep. So you can pay more because he's going to give you time.
Yep.
My saying is I'll pay whatever your asking price is for your house as long as I get to pick the terms.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yep.
By the way, all of you sons of bitches, how's that for a word? Sons of bitches.
Make it sums. Sums.
Sums of bitches.
Make it sums.
I'm just joking
Even
around.
better.
Have it so much easier than me. For two reasons. Number one, technology changed a lot.
Mm-hmm.
The internet and all that stuff. You don't have to do things manually like I used to do. Right? And all you have to do is go watch my free videos on the free stuff page, flippinghouses4rookies.com/free stuff, and figure out which one of these 7 ways you're going to pay for what the seller's asking you for. So you say, what would have to happen for me to buy your house today? They say, give me $200,000, and now you got to figure out how you're going to pay them.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to do it on an option. You're going to do it on a slot. You're going to do it on a lease option. You're going to do it subject to. How are you going to pay for it?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have those videos. I mean, there were people like Ron LeGrand when I was around, but he didn't have it like I have it, all nice and organized and easy to learn. Right? You go on Ron LeGrand's Gold site, which, by the way, is an amazing site. You pay $60 a month for it. Mm-hmm. And what happens, Pete?
Well, there's a long list of videos, and then another page has documents to read. Another page has essays and articles. And when I was looking at it, I wasn't sure where to start.
Right.
And I mean, and it's not critical that he's not an educator. He's a real estate guy.
Right.
We both of us have more background. We've spent time learning, like Patrick Cloudon's data in his book. We've learned that. We spent time on that.
Right.
For our personal sakes,
right.
And then we get to use it. You know, when I teach music, what do you think I'm doing?
Right.
You know, same thing. It's funny, the parallels. The technology is there. They got me instead of like just them. Like we got you instead of just.
Yep.
We take advantage of your hard-learned knowledge. That's what education's for.
I am your research and development center that you don't have to pay for. All right, so we got 2 more to go before we get out of here because we're at an hour right now.
Okay.
Fear it might rain.
Don't get it.
It's because I'm making fun of the listeners right now. Some feel they need to know everything before they start. Paralysis of analysis, they call it. Paralysis of analysis. Mm-hmm. This phenomenon is just a lack of confront. That's all it is. Or you're too weak to look at the bad shit. Just face it. Okay? Believe me, sellers are much more lenient than you ever imagined. You just said it a few minutes ago. You were in a house like within days.
They're just people.
Yep.
And usually they're kind of grateful. I mean, people are snots or nice. Most people are nice, and only few are snots. When they're snots, there's a door. You walk in, you walk out.
That's right. Communication goes both ways. You have the right to communicate, but what most people don't realize is you have the right to listen to.
Mm-hmm.
You have the right to give someone your attention or not give them your attention.
Mm-hmm. Speak or not speak, both ways.
Right. So I have a basic rule for making a shit ton of money in real estate.
What's that, Bill?
Be honest. Tell the seller it's your first deal and you need their help.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Even if it's, just tell them, it's my third deal or it's my first deal or whatever. And you need their help. Poor Emma, my phone's blowing up. Or if you don't want to do that, then tell them, just tell them that it's your first deal, your second, and you need their help.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't want to do that, then get into my personal coaching group, which you can find at flippinghousesforrookies.com/courses. Get into my fill out an application, see what we can do. Get into my coaching group, and then tell your seller that you and your partner have done hundreds of deals. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And by partner, I mean coach, not on the contract.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Just be honest.
Yeah. Get the Dave, so let me check. Blah, 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 I can do this. Let me check with my partner, see what he says, and I'll get right back to you.
The two things that ring true in my ears with you, the rookie, Pete the rookie.
What's that, Bill?
Is one, how you always talk about how conversational my offers were and how easy they were.
Mm-hmm.
And the other is how lenient the sellers are when you get in the house. Those are the two things that...
I can't think of one person. I think of one person on the phone who said he was going to sell me his condo. So how much do you want? I said, I want $500,000.
Yeah.
I said, why do you think that? Because that's what I want. I said, okay.
Click.
I mean, and I had one other guy. I mean, and I had to look for them. They're not in my face. They're
Right.
gone. Okay, never mind. Bye.
All right, good. So let's get the last one. Fear you don't make money. Well,
how much you making now?
It's exactly right. From my chair, I think the only way that you don't make money is to fail to make offers.
Mm-hmm.
It's the only way you don't make money is to fail to make offers. Right? So my training and our help, it's not like boxing a shadow where you keep working and nothing happens. Right? My goal in life, and I've told this to you, but I've never told it publicly, I don't think. My goal in life is to have a huge funeral so that people will come there talking about how much I've helped them. They're talking to one another about how much I helped them when I was alive. That's my goal in life. That really is. And you know that because I've told you this.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? My goal in life is to have a line out the door with people talking about how much I've helped them. That's my goal. Now, I know that's a little bit weird, okay? And don't worry, I'm not ready to leave this planet. Mm-hmm. I've got a lot more that I want to do before I do. I've still got some time, so I'm not thinking about dying or I'm suicidal or anything. It's not that. It's just that my goal in life is that when my funeral happens, there's going to be a lot of people there talking about how much I've helped them and the stories of what we did together because I'm an action guy. Right? Mm-hmm. So my true passion in life is to help my tribe flourish and prosper. Right? So this is, and you know this because I was kind of like floundering around and I really didn't have a tribe that I could hook up with that thought the way I did. So I decided after some deliberation, and then when you came along, it's I'll make my own tribe so that I could have other people to play in the sandbox with me. I didn't want to be there alone. And that's what I've done. And that's what I am doing. Mm-hmm. The only true satisfaction I get out of doing what I do, and that I'm talking about the podcast, the training, the websites, the books that I write, all of it, the live seminars, the only true pay that I get is when somebody tells me a story about how they did a deal because of what I taught them. And that money can't buy.
Yeah. I've seen that on your face. Yep. Whether it's on a phone call or in person, or you hear somebody who said that you did what, I see it on your face.
Yep. And truth be told, my honesty shows in my prices. I could charge a lot more for the stuff that I do, especially the How to Buy Real Estate Without a Loan. That's $1,000 or $2,000 course. I could easily, and I'm jeopardizing the value of it by it being so cheap. But when you buy it, and we're not even here to pitch it. I don't even care if anybody on this podcast ever even listens to the podcast. Because I don't. It's not going to change my life. It's not going to change my life at all. I've already made that course, and we've already made a lot of money off of that course. I've got my money back 5 or 10 times more on that course. It's not about the money. But I'll tell you what, there's nothing better than coming down to my computer in the morning and opening up a support ticket and have a raving success story about how they just bought a house and how I changed their life. And until you've done that for somebody else, do it to a kid. Go down to a church and help somebody that doesn't have food. Give them a Thanksgiving dinner. See how you feel then.
Yep. That's real living.
Tots, what is it? Gifts for tots or toys for tots.
Toys for tots.
Right? Do that one. That's a little bit disconnected because you give a toy and you don't see the kid's face.
Yeah.
Okay? So like I said earlier, I'm the Henry Ford. Henry Ford wants every American to drive an affordable car. Well, I actually want every American to have the ability to have affordable education, right? You want to be a lawyer and make $150 an hour, how much does it cost?
Oh, I don't know, a lot.
If you want to be a doctor and make $200,000 a year, how much does it cost?
More.
So I'm that affordable guy that's going to show you how to make $200,000 a year for nowhere near what it costs a doctor.
My son is still paying his college loans off. Yeah. He's not a doctor or an engineer.
I had to sell Jessie a house, a multifamily house, to pay off her student loans. Mm-hmm. And when I say sell, I mean I practically gave it to her so she can cash flow to pay those student loans. So, no more fear, please. No more fear. Apply how to attract motivated sellers to your life. And which, by the way, if you go to flippinghousesforrookies.com/courses, there's a course in there that's called Attract Motivated Sellers. And we're selling it for 62% off. We've been doing some stuff. In fact, Emma doesn't even know this. She's going to have to fix it as soon as we get off the podcast. But if you go there to flippinghousesforrookies.com/courses and you type in the coupon code podcast discount, you can buy it for $37.
Which one?
Attracting motivated sellers.
Oh. Well, that's how you get started.
Right.
And that's my advice. That's what I did. Just get started.
If you don't have $37 and you're one of the 900,000 people or one of the 900,000 downloads that we have on this podcast, then just delete my podcast. You're the wrong person. I'm talking to the people on a beach that don't want to spend $37.
Oh boy.
Just go out there and start talking to people because they're a lot more lenient than you ever imagined. And then send me a support ticket, flippinghousesforrookies.com/support, and I'll help you. Now, if you need too much help, we'll talk about coaching, but that's not going to kill you. That's not going to make you or break you. You don't have to do anything. But I will help you a lot before we get to that. Mm-hmm. And I have done that. Matter of fact, the meetup this month, because we're in March 2009, the meetup this month. 2019, sorry. I even put as one of the bonuses that we're going to do a hot seat, and I'm going to start doing this at my live meetups. They're going to do a hot seat, right?
Yep.
And we're going to help that person, right? Mm-hmm. Then when we get all done with that, we're going to have we're going to pull a deal out of the audience. Like somebody's going to bring a deal. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to structure 2 or 3 offers right on the board. Mm-hmm. I so much want to help people that I'm going to offer that person that brings the deal, I'll coach them for 1 week after they leave to make sure the deal goes through for free.
Wow.
Who's doing that?
That's awesome.
So if they bring a deal and we structure it on the board and they need to go make the offer the next day and something happens, they don't know what to do, they're going to be able to call me. They're going to have my cell phone number and they're going to be able to call me and I'm going to help them make that deal.
You really are crazy, Bill.
Sometimes. And that's it. Now, podcast is over. I just want you to know, in case you're curious, that my hardest task today is going to be selling Peter on we need to have hot dogs for lunch. So we're going to shut the podcast off, and you're not going to be able to hear that, although you probably do want to hear that.
Bill, are they organic?
Yeah. Don't start. Go to flippinghousesforrookies.com/courses. courses, and put in that in the coupon thing podcast discount, $37. Podcast coupon. Thank you. No, that's not what I put.
You said podcast coupon before.
I did?
Yes.
Let me see. I wrote it down, man. Got to make sure we got this straight.
If coupon doesn't work, please enter discount.
Podcast discount.
Okay.
So type in podcast discount in the coupon section and get out there and find yourself a motivated seller. Till next week, we're over and out.
Thanks for tuning in to the hottest real estate topics on the planet with Bill and Pete. If you want to continue learning how to buy and sell real estate without money or credit, head over to flippinghouses.club for some cutting-edge real estate wealth tools. Or contact us at info@flippinghouses.club.